Okay, boys and girls, today we got a HyperGo 1/16. This will work for the H116BM and the H116PL. I already did it to that one, and the parts I ordered were all for this one. So we're going to get rid of the factory gears. These are real soft. This is the motor, the drive shaft. The differentials are very soft. I've already stripped out 4 of them. These are really soft. You can see there's all cocky in there. Yeah. So these gears mesh with that. You'll see it. We're gonna open it up. These gears mesh like this. So what happens is, in the back, there's a cover. The motor sits here. This is the cover. The motor sits here. The rear diff sits here. And the gears don't mesh. Because the new diff you put in, this is plastic, this is aluminum. The new diff you put in is significantly larger in diameter. So you would have to clearance the inside of this cover, or it sandwiches it and it won't let it rotate. It will not spin. So to replace this rear cover, we have an aluminum cover. It has much more clearance on the inside. We have 2 all steel diffs, steel gear aluminum housing diffs. We have the new motor gear. We have the new drive shaft gear. New differential pinions. We're going to put them all in. So we're going to start taking this apart, and we'll get it going. It's pretty self-explanatory once you have the directions. These things are really handy to keep around because they have all the exploded views in the back, and these aren't even really hobby grade yet. These are the super cheap ones, but hey, we're having fun. All right, boys and girls, hopefully that's a good shot, and hopefully I'm not in it. So I don't recommend using a screw gun, but I'm going to use a screw gun because otherwise you're going to get carpal tunnel. When you take the light out of the controller, make sure to remember where it goes. Mine's in channel 3. We have to take the controller off. That guy was on there, and this is a gyro I had added. Works pretty good. You could take the double-sided sticky tape off, and now what we'll do is we'll rebuild the front. This is a piece of Velcro I put on so we could fit a 3S battery in there. So we'll put this back. We'll change the front diff, and then we'll change the rear diff. Sorry about all the dirt. Now they say this isn't hobby grade because the small Phillips head screws, they are kind of a pain in the ass. I don't know what to tell you there. They are a pain in the ass. I have a small magnetic parts tray off to the side here, and I'm putting all my small parts in them. try your best to pay attention to find where the screws go, because like these are tapered different. And there you go, the front bumper is off. This one, I greased up a little too much. Well, maybe not. Just clean the grease off of it. We'll add some fresh grease when we're done rebuilding it. Put that off to the side. I guess, because if we take off these 8 screws, those 4 in the front and those 4 in the back here, we really don't need to go underneath anymore. If you look, these 2 were much smaller than those. Important to note. Okay. We'll get back to the front here. Remove our shocks. And they have a kit. It's like 65 bucks. At least I saw on Amazon and eBay. It's like 65 bucks to make all of these pieces aluminum. Everything. Even the body mount. So, I don't know if you want to do that. I didn't think that was, I didn't think we were ready for that yet. We just started running them on free. Yeah, sorry my head's in the way. So these are the upper control arms. And then we gotta take the, what's that called? Not the sway bar. That's called the tie rods. Gotta take the tie rods off. Alright, so the front is off. These are for the upper control arms. They slide this way. Now there's a screw on the bottom here for the lower control arms and its frame. That comes apart. This is a retainer for the pins for the lower control arms. So now we got to take the body mount off to get to the screws on the top of the housing for the differential. The diff cover. Like that. These are the screws. I didn't see any videos like this working on this particular car and this particular upgrade. Like everyone else, I stripped the first stock set of metal gears, stripped them, put the second set they give you in there. They give you one. Strip that too. Bought my daughter the same car. She had an issue. Strip those sets of gears. Alright, now we got a new set of gears. Everything's steel, right? Put everything together, and once everything's tight, nothing moves. It won't even roll. So we find out that that rear housing is having an issue. So now that you got all these top screws out, we're going to try and take this front diff cover off. Is there another screw? I don't believe so. Oh, there are. There's 2 screws in here. I missed them. So I haven't upgraded the servo. We haven't really had any issues with the factory servo. I'm sure we will. Okay, so there is the front diff cover. Mine is all greased up, and we're going to clean all that cocky out of there. Give me a second to clean that up. All right, we're back. Cleaned it all up. And you got to remember the orientation, because this will go the other way, but now you'd be driving one set of wheels backwards. The other side, you could tell that there's only one way it could go in. We'll see when we get it open. Now I am mistaken. I believe we have to take it all apart and put it all back together as one piece, because if I go ahead and I replace this gear, I got to pull it out of that side. So we'll just go ahead and keep on dismantling. So here's the original one, and this one isn't even broken, but it feels crusty inside. So we'll just put that aside. I hope everything's in focus for you guys. So now we'll take apart the other side. I just leave all that dangling. Take off this. So this is the back with the wheelie bar. And there's another adapter piece. So we'll take out the upper control arm. Again. Those are the pins, the slide pins. And we get the shocks. I'm gonna take it all apart there, buddy. The shock screws are a little different. You could tell they're a lot longer, but they have a flat head on them. Almost like a panhead screw. So we got, let's see. So now, there you go. One's off, and then the other. Now, can we get to these without removing? Yes, we can. Don't strip your screws, because you're not using a screw gun. So there we go. There's the top cover in the back. We'll take this, we'll give it a wipe down. Doesn't have to be spotless, it's all grease that's in there. As long as it's clean. If it's dirty, you should really clean it out with something. No chemicals. But this is getting replaced. So because that's getting replaced, we have to take off the body mount. So there's the body mount that you want. This rear cover can go away. Okay. If you look, you can see how the rear diff is on the opposite side of the motor. So here's the drive shaft. It actually fell out when we're unscrewing it. There's the rear diff, pinion gear. And then here. So originally I had thought that the gears were binding with this gear in the motor. So I bought a new one. But the factory one does seem to be a decent, this does seem to be a decent gear. We're still going to change it. Yes, we are. Let's find it. We got our new parts here. On I think one item we have to reuse. Here's a new one. We have to reuse a factory bearing. You can see how small that set screw is. That's really easy to lose. Yeah, I guess this looks a little beefier. Looks a little beefier than the factory one. So the motor's held in with this little carriage. It just slides in, and all you really need to do is lift it up just a little bit, because when you unscrew this, if you can, dang, when you unscrew this, you won't be able to slide the gear off. And I guess mine is stripped. Well, that's not good. I don't want a stripped gear. What could we do here? Oh, there you go. So I know it's metric, and I went in there with a metric. The last one came right out. This one's giving me issues. All right, we're cutting. Cut. Okay, boys and girls. It was a TX6, a Torx 6 that was in there. That was able to get all that out. So speaking of which, we are going to put a drop. I mean a drop of blue thread locker on this, because we sure as heck don't want that coming loose. And I push it all the way on, and I come off just a hair, and it was, I mean, not perfectly scented, but it was pretty good last time. Okay, motor's done. Slide it back down to its home. Don't you want to go? So now that's done. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. Now we gotta get diff gears. Okay. This goes on one side, and then let's see. So this goes like this, goes like that, and then we need to use one of our old bearings because they only sent one bearing. Why? I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. So there's the other bearing. Now this goes on the drive shaft like so, and then the drive shaft goes into the, I don't even know what you'd call it, drive shaft home tunnel, drive shaft tunnel. Okay, so it should look like that. Now, we have our fancy diffs, differentials. I'm going to put one in there. I'm going to take one, I'm going to put one in there. I'm going to make sure everybody rotates happy. Okay, just like so. Hope that's coming out on video for you. All right, now ooh, it's almost orange. It doesn't really match that red, but that's okay. Let's just do a dry fit. Oh, very nice. Make sure everything works, everything spins. Okay, everyone's happy. Now, grease. People are gonna tell me it's the wrong grease, blah, blah, blah. I'm using red wheel bearing grease. I ain't using that much. I'm just smearing some on there. Alright, they are all steel gears now. So they need something. The old ones, I believe, were powdered metal. So there's some give to the gear. These are a little more firm. You want to pack it in there. You want to leave enough to coat everything. Okay. So now, sorry, got me out of frame there. And then here's the front. All right, so we got to make sure the pins are in for the steering. These are tricky. Those are in. Put the front cover on. Put the rear cover on. Test it again. Make sure everybody's happy. Because that was the problem before. Once I got it together, it didn't spin. It didn't spin at all because the back, the diff was hitting the back cover. That's pretty much what this video is about. Alright, now that I got all that grease all over the place, I gotta wash my hands. So let's get these screws back in. You don't need to watch me get the screws back in. Okay, boys and girls, we're all back together. So I do have 15mm spacers. Oh, there might be 14mm spacers on the wheels, spacers, to push the wheels out a little bit. I do have a gyro on there, right, along with the controller. I zip tied those in, and you can see it works. I'll put the we'll have my lovely assistant test it out. Don't crash into the electric car. Oh boy. Well, it's getting windy. Where'd the sun go? So there you go. You got to switch it up. There we go. Now we're going in circles. And there you go. Good luck with your project, boys and girls. So my little one here, she broke her foot doing something silly. And we went on a little vacation, and she was kind of stuck in the house. So we got 2 of these suckers, and we had a blast up in Maine all weekend. Thank you, Matt. All right, boys and girls. Good luck with your projects. Have a good night.